So in my journey to check out one of the most unnecessary remakes of all time in How to Train Your Dragon coming out in a couple weeks, we've stumbled upon How to Train Your Dragon 2. Lindsay and I rewatched it last night. It was a lot of fun. I haven't seen this movie in a while, and honestly, I think I'm going to double down on this opinion. I know a lot of people love the original How to Train Your Dragon, but 2 actually might be better. 5 years have passed since Hiccup and Toothless united the dragons and Vikings of Berk. Now, they spend their time charting the island's unmapped territories. During one of their adventures, the pair discover a secret cave that houses hundreds of wild dragons, in addition to a mysterious dragon rider who turns out to be Hiccup's long-lost mother, voiced by Cate Blanchett. All the while, Hiccup and Toothless then find themselves at the center of a battle to protect Berk from a power-hungry warrior named Drago. Shut up, Rocky. Not that Drago. I mean, come on. What do you think Drago's thoughts were when Hiccup's father dies in this?
He dies.
But joking aside, yeah, so here's the thing, guys. Rewatching, like, Dreamworks is a great studio in and of itself. I feel like one of their biggest strengths is creating such a unique outside-the-box idea, and then when sequels come out, they somehow turn out to be better than the original. Shrek 2 is definitely better than Shrek 1. Puss in Boots: The Last Witch, easily better than the original Puss in Boots. You can argue that Madagascar 2 is better than the original. You could definitely argue Kung Fu Panda 2 is better than the original. I want to make a case and say that How to Train Your Dragon 2 is better than the original. Why? Because we're seeing Hiccup evolve from the dweeby nerd who didn't want to kill dragons, and we're seeing his true evolution into chief of the Berk village. This is a character arc and a half, ladies and gentlemen, and Jay Baruchel is still so good in this. Him and Toothless have such an infectious, lovable bond. And Toothless once again has so many adorable moments in this. All the while, he also has some powerful moments with Hiccup and with being brainwashed by the big alpha dragon that Drago is controlling. And some people might have the criticism that Drago is a very bland villain because he's just power hungry. And yeah, it's hard to disagree with that argument, but you know what? I think his character design is still so freaking cool. The Djimon Hounsou's voice acting for him is so freaking intimidating and foreboding. Ironically enough, it's very stoic, his delivery. Not to be confused, of course, with Gerard Butler, who is once again very good as Stoic the Vast. And he shares some very heartfelt chemistry with Cate Blanchett, who plays Valka. And I always forget that it's revealed that she is Hiccup's long-lost estranged mother. And it's such beautiful synergy once she eventually does introduce herself. The parent and child dynamic in this movie is wonderful, which makes it all the more tragic when Stoic the Vast is killed by a brainwashed Toothless, and Stoic sacrifices himself to save Hiccup. Yeah, that Viking funeral, man. I don't, like, when Lindsay and I were watching this, we were both, like, we couldn't help tearing up. And the score behind it, oh my gosh, the music and everything surrounding that whole sequence. Just a beautiful send-off for a wonderful father character. I also always forget that Kit Harington has a voice role in this. Definitely capitalizing off his popularity from Game of Thrones and translating it to a voice role in this, and he is very good in this and very entertaining. The scope of this movie is once again so majestic and gigantic. It is just huge. I remember loving seeing this on the big screen, and I did see this in 3D as well, because I learned from my previous experience with the first film, you gotta see How to Train Your Dragon in 3D if you can, because those flying sequences, whew, those will put you in awe in a hurry. And it's also a very colorful movie to look at. The animation on this thing is just absolutely pristine. I love the icicles that form. I love how we get to meet new dragons, the wild dragons. The whole plan to start this big action climax is because Drago brainwashed all the adult dragons. Hiccup and his crew comedically ride the baby dragons into battle, and it's so funny. I feel like this trilogy and this whole How to Train Your Dragon franchise is just the gift that keeps on giving sometimes. How to Train Your Dragon 2, a lot like the original movie, is absolutely delightful. And I feel like I had the right instincts when I first watched this movie in 2014 in the theaters. I thought it was better than the original at that point. And I'm going to sit here and say that because of the bigger emotional gravity, especially with the death of Stoic and the introduction of Valka, and Hiccup having to live up to his father's legacy, that all put together, I think it makes it better than the original. As much as I love it, you still get the moments with Hiccup and Toothless that you remember from the original that made the original so great. But 2 adds so much more compelling layers to what made the first one so great too. And director DeBlois did actually cite The Empire Strikes Back as one of his inspirations behind creating How to Train Your Dragon 2. And I think The Empire Strikes Back is the best of the original trilogy as well. That's the second movie of the 3. I don't know what it is about the middle movie, guys. If I were to nitpick one little thing, I kind of wish there was a little bit more for Astrid to do, aside from being a beautiful companion for Hiccup, just in how these two are so meant to be together. And I think it's such an adorable moment at the end, just when he pulls her in for a kiss. But aside from that, and aside from the dragon games that are at the beginning, there's not really a whole lot memorable that Astrid does, to my knowledge. It's not that she's a bad character in this, it just feels like she was just there for me. And I kind of wanted a little bit more of her. But that's just me digging around, grasping at straws for one little nitpick here. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is a wonderful movie. If you haven't seen it in a long time, I urge you to check it out, especially if you're going through the trilogy like I am before the remake comes out. But I had to watch it again to confirm this feeling, but I do think that 2 is better than 1. I'm going to give How to Train Your Dragon 2 an A. Absolutely love this movie, guys. If you haven't seen it in a while, give this one a look and let me know what you think. Do you think that this is the best of the trilogy? Do you think the original is better? Hot takes only, all down there in the comments. I love having respectful debates with you guys. I love talking all things movies and entertainment with you on the regular. Hit that subscribe button if you're new and tap on that thumbs up as well if you haven't already. And stay tuned for more exciting videos hitting this channel very soon as the summer season heats up. Thank you so much again for your continued support. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.